Google Ads has so many different bidding options. And in this video, we're going to find out which one should we use and which one to avoid. This is actually a second video in the tier list ranking for Google Ads. If you want to see previous video, I will put it somewhere around here. And to those who don't know, I'm Dan from Online Labs. I managed Google Ads for different clients across different industries for more than 10 years. And I gained experience in this platform, and now I want to share this knowledge with you. So let's jump right into it and start our ranking. Well, first of all, you can see here that we have 4 different tiers. We have the superb category, which is top tier. Then we have good, okay category, I don't know category, and the poo-poo category. All right, now let's start first of all with manual bidding. I actually need to say that this video might be very hard for me because a lot of these bidding options, it's really hard to say which one is the best. So I will try my best here. Let's start. Manual bidding. Manual bidding was the original option when Google Ads, back then Google AdWords, was created, and this option gives you the most control. But is it actually a better option for us? It's a good question. You have people who are for or against it. I try to stay somewhere in the middle. Well, basically, Google tries to push us into automated bidding where we have less control, and we're giving Google's algorithm to do most of the work. So when should we use manual bidding? Well, first of all, if we have a very limited campaign with limited budget, then you can go with manual bidding. It doesn't require a lot of work, effort, so you can start with manual bidding. Second of all, if we are just starting out and we don't have conversion data, which is something that Google algorithm is working with and needs this data to make proper optimization decisions, then a manual option can be a nice one as well. So where should we put manual bidding? Good question. I think I would put it in the I don't know category, because it really depends. What is the structure of your campaign? What is your business? Do you have conversions or not? Let's keep it there for now. Now, let's move on to cost per view. Well, cost per view or CPV is a metric that is not available in most of the campaigns. This metric is available in campaigns like YouTube, for example, where you pay in case somebody watches your video ad. So where should we put this? I think we can put this also in the I don't know section. The question is, are we willing to pay for someone to view the ad? If this is the main goal for us, yes. If we are oriented to bring actually users to our website or our landing page through this ad, then no, we don't care if they view the ad. We want them to make an action on our website, which is a bit different. But if you don't have conversions, again, if you don't have enough data, maybe this is a good option to start with. And then we have viewable CPM. How much you're willing to pay for 1,000 impressions. So how much we're willing to pay for our ads to appear 1,000 times. It doesn't have to be 1,000 different people. It can be 500 people. Let's show that 2 times. In total, the amount of impressions. And this can be actually a good metric when it comes to awareness. I think cost per view is actually might be slightly better, so I will put it into good category, because what's the difference between view and viewable? So Viewable is just an impression. You can see the ad. It doesn't necessarily mean that the video has loaded, you viewed, you watched it throughout time. When you have view, then you know that the person actually interacted with the video. So it's much more qualified goal than just an impression. So I'm going currently, don't judge me, currently put it slightly higher. Now we have target impression share. Okay, target impression share, we have this in search campaigns. And what does it mean? It means that, let's say, 100 people who are searching for travel to Thailand. Okay. And so we have 100 people, that's 100% of impressions. We want that at least half of them will see our ad. So in that case, 50 people, 50%. So we can target impression share of 50%, and then we can pay for it. When is this option a good idea? This option is a good idea if you want just to be visible in the search results. You don't care if people click on your ad. You don't care if they're going to convert on your site, buy your product, fill out the form on your website. None of that. You just want to show your ad there. Fine by me, but like if that's your case, go ahead. For me, I don't see this metric that attractive. If you want to show impressions, maybe it's better to just run a brand awareness campaign through display or video. So for me, it goes into poo-poo category. Yeah, I don't like this metric. Even when it comes to brand campaigns, just put max conversions or put manual bidding with the highest bid on your brand keywords, and that should do the work. Don't use target impression. All right, moving on to the next one. We have target ROAS, or target return on ad spend. This is actually a very good metric. And what it says is that we can tell Google what is the ROAS that we're aiming for. For example, if we spend $100 on the ads and we got $200 in revenue, somebody bought a product for $200, then our ROAS is 200%. So we take 200, divide by 100, and multiply by 100%. Now, it's definitely a metric that is very important when it comes to advertising, that needs to take into account the spend. Okay, you don't want your campaigns to be not profitable. Makes sense. However, and this metric doesn't necessarily mean that you will succeed in it or you achieve it. But you can play around with it. For example, you can make it lower to give some breathing space to Google and show your ads to more users. On the other hand, if you want to really maximize your value from the advertising, then you can minimize the audience by increasing the percentage. And this way, Google will have it. It will be very hard for the platform to bring users, but if it brings users, then you know they are very good quality. So you can play around with it. And I think it's actually a very good metric. I would put it in the top tier list. Now we're moving to target CPA. Target CPA is a bit different because instead of ROAS, we are relying on CPA, cost per acquisition, cost per action that we want user to make on our site. And here, what is the difference? Well, with ROAS, we took into account the value of each product. Let's say we're running an e-commerce store. We have different products with price range from $5 to $500. In that case, we want Google to take into account the revenue from the product as well, because they're not the same. $500 couch and $5 pencil, it's not the same conversion. It counts like one conversion, but the value is different. With target CPA, you have like a fixed cost per desired action. When is it relevant? It's relevant when you have for example, lead generation campaign, and you know that each lead is worth for you $100. Let's say you're a lawyer firm, an accounting firm, and you're trying to get people to your website so they will become leads, and then you contact them, try to close them. So in that case, if they're all equal to you, you can use target CPA. So it's a good metric. It's a good bidding approach. But for both of these bidding strategies to work, you need to have enough data for Google to work with. So it needs to have conversions in case of target CPA, or it needs to have also value when it comes to target ROAS. If you don't have both, it will be really hard, and you should either try manual bidding strategy or additional strategies that we're going to discuss now. So first of all, enhanced CPC. Enhanced CPC is similar to manual bidding, but we give here Google a bit more control. So let's say if Google sees that there is a higher chance of that specific user will convert, it can bid higher, slightly higher than what we would do in that case. You can of course put the maximum bid you're willing to pay, but it takes into account your conversions. In my opinion, it's not ideal strategy. It's not that bad, but max conversions, in my opinion, does the same job, maybe even better. Let's say if you're hesitant letting Google fully automate your biddings, you can go with enhanced CPC because it's kind of in the middle. It's not manual, it's not max conversion, it's in the middle. So you can go with this approach. But I think you should go either with manual, and once you have enough conversion data, you can try out automated bidding strategies like max conversion. It's in the end, we're going to cover it as well. So for enhanced CPC, I cannot put it in the poo-poo section. I will just put it in the I don't know section, because it depends on you. Now, we have the next one, maximize clicks. Maximize clicks, it does what it says. You can define the maximum amount you're willing to pay for each click, like in manual, like 2 or 3. But the goal here is not to bring conversions, sales. It's just to bring people to your page, to click on it. Google search, for example, it doesn't have a lot of bot traffic, maybe around 3 to 5% on average. Depends on the industry, of course. But when it comes to display and YouTube video, then you have a lot of bot traffic there, and you want to avoid it. With maximize clicks, you're kind of inviting, like, guys, I just want to spend money on clicks. Just click on my ad, and that's about it. So it can work in case you want to get a lot of clicks to your website for some reason in a relatively fast period. Even if you want to get conversions, go just with manual. Don't use maximize clicks. So for me, this is a poo-poo bidding strategy for sure. Now we have maximum conversion value. Maximum conversion value is the strategy that takes into account the value of your products or services and tries to bring you maximum value within your budget, within your existing current budget. It's a good approach when it comes to business that have products with different price range. Again, we can have here e-commerce, for example, and you don't care that much about the cost of the advertising. You just care more about the value. So currently you don't care about being like 200-300% ROAS profitable. You just want to get as many sales as possible. So if value is more important to you, use target ROAS. If the number of sales is more important to you, you can use max conversions and you can max your conversion value, but again, max conversion value is kind of in between target ROAS and max conversion. So it takes into account the value, but it doesn't take into account the costs. So you need to think if it's relevant for your business. I'm going to put max conversion value as something like in between. Maybe I would put it maybe in the top tier list. It's very hard, you know. It's very hard because it depends so much on the business type that you have. So I think like the top tier list and the good okay lists can be combined together. Don't look at them that much separately. And max conversions doesn't take the value into account. So when it comes to lead generation, or you have products or each customer is worth exactly the same amount to you, let's say $100 per lead. So it's similar to target CPA, but target CPA, it takes into account the cost, and max conversion doesn't. So we can put it here because it doesn't take. Why I decided to put both of these bidding strategies below, because they don't take into account the costs of the campaigns. And I think it doesn't show you the whole picture of what's going on with advertising, because you always need to take into account the costs as well. Even if the campaign can generate, I don't know, $100,000 value, if your spend is more than that, then you actually losing money. Some industries, especially in startup world, when you're trying to enter the market and gain market share, this strategy can actually be working, but it doesn't apply to everyone. So the target ROAS and target CPA, they take costs into account, and that's why I chose to rank them higher. So that's about it. We finished ranking. Let's just sum this up. If you want to have the best bidding strategy, you can go with target ROAS and target CPA. But for that, you need to have enough conversion data, enough value for these conversions in order for this to work. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best bidding strategies. You need to think what is the most important for your business, the end goal, the marketing end goal for you. And if it's not that, you can go with max conversion value, max conversions. Cost per view, it's only relevant for YouTube, but you can focus on that if you want awareness instead of direct actions. When you're starting out, manual bidding strategy is excellent. You can try it out, gather more traffic, gather more conversion until you have enough data to switch to automated bidding strategy. And then we have Viewable CPM, which is relatively standard approach when it comes to YouTube and even display advertising. Enhanced CPC, it's kind of between manual and automated bidding strategy. I'm not a big fan, but you can try it out if you're hesitant with automated bidding strategy, giving Google full control of that. And something that I don't recommend, the poo-poo category, target impression share and maximize clicks. Don't use these bidding strategies. They will just waste your money without actually giving you any real value. So that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe. And if you think that I made here a mistake, or you think that something here can be changed, something is wrong, make sure to write it in the comments, and I would love to discuss that. All right, that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.